He's a once-in-a-lifetime type talent.
Who's the best #1 overall selection of the last 50 years?
Okay, this is fascinating.
I'm a little surprised he went this early.
That's the quarterback of the future.
That's the right pick.
It's time to rank every top pick from 1975 to 2024, and the worst comes first as we kick it off with rocket-armed quarterback Jamarcus Russell. After wowing the Raiders in the lead-up to the 2007 draft, Russell proved to be the least productive #1 overall pick of the last 50 years. He lasted just 3 NFL seasons, winning a total of 7 games as a starter. By 2010, Russell weighed in at over 300 pounds.
Cincinnati Bengals have selected running back from Penn State, Kijana Carter.
Robert Porcher, who was a Pro Bowler, beat the guard, was there in the backfield. Kijana, stuck his foot in the ground to avoid him, and that's when I think he blew the knee out.
1995's #1 selection just couldn't catch a break. Kijana Carter suffered a season-ending knee injury in the preseason of his rookie year, and that would be the story of his career. He showed brief flashes with the Bengals, but ultimately suited up in just 59 career games. Athletic D lineman Steve Entman led Washington to a national title and parlayed that with the #1 overall pick in 1992. But the Colts got an NFL bust, largely because of injuries. Entman landed on the IR in each of his first 3 seasons. He logged just 5 sacks in 18 total games with Indy. The jury's still out on Bryce Young, but the #1 overall pick in 2023 has a long way to go to justify that selection.
Second, Nate fake to Sanders. They come through. It's intercepted again. And again, it's picked off by Moore. A foot race. It'll be his second pick six. His second pick six.
Carolina hoped the Heisman winner could turn the team around, but Young won just 6 games of his first 28 starts. A lack of supporting cast has a lot to do with that. He was benched in 2024 before getting back on track with a solid finish to the season. We'll see how the next few years play out. One season into the Caleb Williams era in Chicago has garnered mixed reactions. Didn't help that the prized pick was sacked a league-high 68 times in 2024. Still, Williams broke franchise rookie records for passing yards and touchdowns. A long way to go, but the talent is certainly there.
Second down and 8. Williams, Moore, end zone. He's got it. Touchdown.
And look where Caleb puts the football. He puts it out and in front for DJ Moore to go and get it.
On to a forgotten first overall selection from the 80s. New England took Kenneth Sims with the top pick in 1982, and while the D-end lasted in the NFL for 8 seasons, the production was nowhere near worth the hype. Sims registered just 17 total sacks, failing to form the dominant pass-rushing duo with Andre Tippett. Same can be said for Courtney Brown, who the Browns took first in 2000. After shining at Penn State, Brown fell flat at the next level. Not a total disaster, as he was mildly productive, 6 sacks in 2003, but he lasted only 6 years in the league, not ideal for a top overall pick. With a fresh start in 1999, Cleveland thought they had a face of their franchise in Kentucky prospect Tim Couch, but the team wasn't at all ready to contend.
Couch has the time. Couch intercepted. Andre Dyson untouched to the end zone.
Couch won 11 games as starter through his first 3 seasons. He did, however, lead the Browns to the postseason in 2002. Despite that, he never quite found his footing in the league. Couch left the Browns after 5 seasons and failed to land on another regular season roster.
On first down, Montana to throw with pressure. And there he is, Andre Bruce, the #1 pick that we talked about.
Linebacker Andre Bruce looked like a solid selection for the Falcons in 1988. He was great as a rookie with 70 tackles, 6 sacks, and 2 interceptions, but the numbers dipped and he had off-field issues. Bruce lost his starting role and eventually signed with the Raiders. The #1 pick never reached his potential, but he did play 11 NFL seasons. Next up, David Carr. A brand new franchise in Houston called for a frontman to lead the Texans to prosperity.
Carr, was it a fumble? Touchdown Chargers. Carr pressured, down. Fourth down try, and it results in a sack. A new NFL record of dubious distinction, a 73rd sack.
Carr was brutalized in his 5 years with Houston. He was sacked 249 times, by far the most in the NFL from 2002 to 2006. Carr won just 29% of his career starts, eventually relegated to a backup role in the back half of his career. Tom Cousineau would be much higher on this list had he not spent his best years in Canada. After the Bills took the linebacker #1 overall in 1979, Cousineau bolted up north for more money. He didn't play in the NFL until 1982 when Buffalo dealt him to Cleveland. Cousineau led the Browns in tackles 3 out of his 4 years there, but played only 6 total seasons.
In the corner, he's got 3 on the day. Flacco running for his life. Set. It's Walker.
Again.
Still plenty of time for Trayvon Walker to climb up this list. The Jags took the pass rusher with the top pick in 2022, and he's been a solid contributor through 3 seasons. Walker's produced at least 10 sacks in back-to-back seasons. The late Ricky Bell powered Tampa Bay to its first ever playoff win with a huge performance in the 1979 divisional round.
Running back Ricky Bell carried the ball 38 times for 142 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Bell went for over 1,200 yards in that 1979 campaign, leading the Bucs to the NFC title game. The former USC star averaged over 900 yards from scrimmage per season through his first 4 years. Before being known as the contract king, Sam Bradford was busy winning the Heisman at Oklahoma. The Rams went on to draft him first overall in 2010, and he proved to be worth the pick, at least in year 1. Bradford earned Rookie of the Year honors, but never really took the next step. He played 4 years in St. Louis before bouncing around numerous teams, a respectable 85 career passer rating, but he never won more than 7 games in a season. As of 2025, the jury is still out on Trevor Lawrence. There's no denying his arm talent, but 22 total wins through 4 seasons won't get it done. His greatest moment came in a wild 27-point comeback win in the 2022 Wild Card.
Looking, fire through the right corner of the end zone, and that ball is caught for the touchdown!
For the win.
They have come back from 27-0.
Lawrence made the Pro Bowl that year and has already notched 2 4,000-yard passing seasons. We'll have to see if he can turn the Jags into serious contenders. Next comes the fascinating career of Bo Jackson. If you're going on talent alone, he should be at the top of the list.
Bo, the tailback, gets it, explodes over right tackle, breaking tackles, races into the secondary at the 50, breaks a tackle at the 45, he's off to the races, they won't catch him, 20, 10, 5, touchdown Raiders!
After being selected first overall by the Bucs in 1986, Bo opted to play baseball instead. He'd enter the draft again in 1987 when the Raiders took him in the 7th round, unsure of his desire to play in the NFL. Splitting carries with Marcus Allen, Jackson rushed for nearly 3,000 yards in 4 seasons, making impossible runs look routine. Sadly, the career longevity just wasn't there. Jackson's football career ended with a devastating hip injury in the 1990 playoffs. When you play 13 seasons on the interior D-line and earn the nickname Big Daddy, things probably went okay for you. Dan Wilkinson was the top pick of the 1994 draft, and while he didn't become a perennial Pro Bowler, Wilkinson proved he could play. He missed just 7 total games in a 12-year stretch and racked up 54.5 career sacks with 4 teams. The Colts took a huge gamble trading up to draft Jeff George. The cannon-armed QB from Illinois was up and down throughout his career, but mostly down with Indy. Just 14 wins as a starter in 4 years there. A fresh start in Atlanta saw George produce huge numbers in a playoff trip in 1995, though.
Over halfway to a win. Big pressure, George shakes it. Emmanuel, touchdown!
He'd go on to play with the Raiders, where he won the 1997 NFL passing title. George bounced around 5 teams in 12 seasons, winning 37% of his career starts. Sticking with the theme of hot and cold quarterbacks, look no further than 2015 #1 pick, Jameis Winston.
Only 3 points scored in the entire half. An interception for a touchdown. with that throw, that's the first, I think, the first guy in NFL history for 30 touchdowns and 30 picks.
Winston has shown no fear playing the position. He made the Pro Bowl as a rookie and averaged close to 4,000 yards per season during his Bucs career. Winston paced the league in passing in that fateful 2019 campaign. After his run in Tampa came to an end, he found a home as a backup in cities across the league, offering no shortage of viral moments.
The horse is prepared for battle, but victory comes from the Lord.
We'll look back on the 2013 draft as one of the worst in recent history, but someone had to go number one. Tackle Eric Fisher joined the Chiefs just as the Andy Reid era began. He played 8 seasons in KC, making the playoffs in 7 of them. Fisher made a couple Pro Bowls, protecting Patrick Mahomes, and won Super Bowl 54 as the starting left tackle. A play like that will certainly elevate your profile. Houston was all over Jadeveon Clowney going into the 2014 draft, but the big pass rusher battled injuries early in his career before finally clicking into gear in Season 3. Clowney made 3 straight trips to the Pro Bowl with the Texans before a 2019 trade sent him to Seattle, and he's been all over the map since. Clowney's made productive stops with the Titans, Browns, Ravens, and Panthers, all within a 5-year period. Heisman Trophy, first overall pick in 2019 Rookie of the Year, Kyler Murray has even added a couple Pro Bowl selections to his resume. He's been a superb dual-threat talent, amassing over 3,000 rushing yards through his first 6 seasons.
Murray running out of time, on the move, coming back this way. Dancing and looking and directing traffic, and look at the length of this play. Murray to the 10, to the 5, and he's going to convert it. That's unbelievable.
Murray led the Cardinals to the playoffs in 2021 with a passer rating over 100, but it's been tough sledding since. He battled injuries over the next few years and still hasn't put together a 10-win campaign. Time will tell if Murray slides up or down this list. Russell Maryland was a key piece of the Cowboys revival in the 1990s. The top pick of 1991, played 5 years in Dallas, winning 3 Lombardi trophies. Over the 4-year span from 1992 to 1995, Dallas ranked first in both scoring and total defense. Maryland later found a home with the Raiders and Packers, missing just 1 game over his last 5 seasons. Big man Jake Long appeared to be on pace for a Hall of Fame career. Miami took the tackle in 2008, and Long went on to earn Pro Bowl nods in each of his first 4 seasons. But he battled injuries at the end of his career, landing on 3 more teams before retiring in 2017.
Bartkowski, Eagles blitzing, they pick it up, he throws long, touchdown! Francis! It's Wallace Francis!
That was Atlanta's first ever playoff win. Quarterback Steve Bartkowski engineered a late-game comeback in perhaps his finest moment as a Falcon. The 1975 first overall pick played 11 seasons in Atlanta, making 2 Pro Bowls along the way. He led the league with 31 touchdowns and won a then franchise best 12 games in 1980. Bartkowski still ranks second all-time in franchise passing yards. Baker Mayfield landed the top overall selection in 2018. He's largely responsible for Cleveland's 11-win season in 2020 and snapping the team's 26-year playoff win drought. But the Browns traded him to Carolina in 2022 for a 5th-round pick, and Mayfield has since flourished in Tampa. Back-to-back Pro Bowl trips and the best season of his career in 2024.
Empty set, blitz coming. Mayfield out to the left. Throws on the move for Mike Evans, who gets loose. Down the sideline, Mike Evans. It's a touchdown for Tampa Bay.
41 touchdown passes, over 4,500 yards, and a 71% completion rate. Mayfield has led the Bucs to a pair of playoff trips and proven his value as he enters his 30s. Speaking of Tampa, they acquired Vinny Testaverde in 1987, and little did the Bucks know, this guy would play for 21 seasons. Unfortunately, only 6 of them came in the creamsicle unis. Testaverde certainly went through it. 112 interceptions from 1987 to 1992, most in the NFL. A change of scenery helped as he took Cleveland to the postseason in 1994, but his best year came with the Jets in '98, leading New York to the AFC Championship game.
Testaverde has time, into the end zone, touchdown! Touchdown, New York, Jet Keyshawn Johnson!
In all, Vinny suited up for 7 teams, made 2 Pro Bowls, and still ranks top 20 in most major passing categories. Much like Testaverde, Irving Fryer had longevity on his side. The #1 overall pick in 1984 played all the way until the new millennium. Fryer lasted 9 years in New England, but didn't develop into a star wideout until his 30s.
On 3rd and 15, Marino looking deep, and he's got a man. Touchdown! Irving Fryer.
Paired with Dan Marino, Fryer averaged nearly 1,100 yards per season from 1993 to 1995. He then went to Philly and balled out there too, a career high in catches and touchdowns in 1996. Then a personal best in yardage the following year. Mind you, he's 34 years old at this point. Fryer amassed over 15,000 all-purpose yards in 17 seasons.
Rodgers arrived in New Orleans as the Heisman Award winner. Rodgers simply ran away from the Heisman curse as a star was born, and Bum Phillips found the cornerstone for his foundation.
He led the league in rushing and was named first-team All-Pro in year 1. George Rodgers was an instant sensation in the Big Easy, setting the NFL rookie rushing record in 1981, but his production dipped and the Saints eventually sent him to Washington a few years later. Rejuvenated by the move, Rodgers went on a scoring spree, pacing the league with 18 touchdowns in 1986. He'd go on to win a Super Bowl a year later in what would be his final NFL season. To this day, he's the last wide receiver taken with the first pick in the draft. Keyshawn Johnson was just that good coming out of USC. While he didn't go on to have a Hall of Fame career, it's his consistency that we should spotlight. 10 seasons with at least 800 yards and 10 seasons with at least 5 touchdowns.
Pressure, Johnson hit. It is caught! Caught by Keyshawn Johnson! Oh, what a catch!
Keyshawn made 3 career Pro Bowls and won a Lombardi with the Bucks in 2002. He'd go on to play in Dallas and Carolina, making big plays at every stop. Johnson totaled over 10,000 career receiving yards in 11 seasons. Much like Bo Jackson, Billy Sims' career can be summarized in 2 words: what if? Sims was the 1980 Rookie of the Year with over 1,900 yards from scrimmage and a league-high 16 touchdowns. He was named to the Pro Bowl in each of his first 3 seasons and eventually led Detroit to consecutive playoff trips. Sims averaged over 1,400 total yards per season, and that includes the strike year in 1982. Sadly, a knee injury ended his career at just 29 years old. Alex Smith's first 6 seasons in San Fran proved to be treacherous, especially with the rotating cast of head coaches and offensive coordinators. But once Jim Harbaugh came in, the Niners went to another level.
Shotgun Smith. Saints bring extra man. Alex going to boot to his left and run. He's going to run it 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. Do you believe it?
Smith won a career-high 13 games in 2011 before getting Wally pipped by Colin Kaepernick a year later. He was dealt to Kansas City in 2013, hitting his prime with Andy Reid. 3 Pro Bowls and 4 playoff trips in 5 seasons. Smith suffered a brutal leg injury with Washington in 2018 and miraculously returned to the field, winning 2020 Comeback Player of the Year. All eyes were on Reggie Bush and Vince Young ahead of the 2006 draft, but Houston shocked everyone when they took Mario Williams at number 1. Apparently the Texans knew something we didn't, because he went on to have a dominant career, close to 100 career sacks and 4 Pro Bowl trips. Williams was named first-team All-Pro with Buffalo in 2014, too.
Vick on 2nd and 8, off the play fake, has some running room. Inside the 30,
inside the 20. Vick into the end zone. Falcons win in overtime. A 46-yard touchdown run.
One of the most electrifying players to ever grace an NFL field, Michael Vick changed the game with his elite scrambling ability and rocket arm. Vick was a human highlight reel, making 4 trips to the Pro Bowl. He played 13 seasons, peaking with the Falcons and taking them as far as the 2004 NFC title game. A second chance in Philly got him back on track, and he won 2010 Comeback Player of the Year, a rare talent and on the Mount Rushmore of mobile quarterbacks.
Already 2 touchdowns for Brown, and they give it to him again, and he fumbles the ball, and Luck is there to pick it up and go over the goal line. Are you kidding me? Talk about luck.
The Colts won the Suck for Luck sweepstakes in 2012, moving on from Peyton Manning after 15 seasons. Luck was the real deal, winning 11 games in each of his first 3 seasons. A rare blend of intelligence, arm talent, and mobility helped him earn 4 Pro Bowl nods in 6 seasons. Sadly, injuries would put an early end to his career as Luck shockingly retired in 2019. While Drew Bledsoe wasn't the fleetest of foot, the 6'5 QB had the arm to make up for it. Bledsoe was selected first overall in 1993 and led the Patriots to the postseason in year 2.
Bledsoe. Turner, touchdown. New England wins.
Bledsoe led the league in passing in 1994, and by 96, New England was Super Bowl bound. The 4-time Pro Bowler saw his job slip away to Tom Brady, eventually finding a home in Buffalo, where he had another 4,000-yard season in 2002. The final stop in Dallas pushed him close to 45,000 career passing yards. Perhaps a carbon copy of Bledsoe came in the form of Carson Palmer exactly a decade later. In 2003, the Bengals drafted the USC Heisman winner first overall, and he did not disappoint. Palmer broke out in his 3rd year with a league-high 32 touchdown passes, leading Cincy to a division title. He posted 6 career seasons with 4,000 passing yards, none of which were better than 2015.
Well, play action, ton of time. Now he's going to go deep downfield, has a man caught, Nelson, and he's in for the touchdown.
Palmer led the Cardinals to 13 wins and a spot in the NFC title game. The 3-time Pro Bowler played 15 seasons, falling just short of 300 career touchdown passes. We've seen enough from Joe Burrow through 5 seasons to rank him this high on our countdown. Injuries have been a concern, but the LSU product has rebounded with 2 Comeback Player of the Year awards. Burrow's been good for 275 yards per game and a passer rating of 101 through 2024.
Burrow throwing the other way. Turner, caught! Jamar Chase!
He shocked the world in 2021, leading the Bengals all the way to Super Bowl 56. Burrow followed that with another AFC Championship game appearance the next year. In 2024, he paced the NFL in both passing yards and touchdowns. Burrow's on his way to a Hall of Fame career. Say what you want about Jared Goff, but the guy's a proven winner. 8 years as a primary starter, 7 of which resulted in winning seasons. He led the Rams to Super Bowl 53 and has since helped the Lions get out of the gutter. His 15 wins in 2024 are a Lions franchise record. Goff's made 4 Pro Bowls thus far and averaged over 4,300 passing yards per season from 2018 to 2024. He'll go down as an all-time legend if he can win the big one with Detroit.
First down to the 12. Cam Newton's going to run, trucking right 10 to the 5, leaps for the end zone, touchdown!
Oh, he knew he was going to do Superman.
Panthers.
He knew he was going to do a Superman. Cam Newton, the legend grows.
Have we ever seen a player like Cam Newton? An athletic anomaly, Newton finished his career with the most rushing touchdowns by a quarterback in NFL history. He accounted for 45 total touchdowns in 2015 alone, winning league MVP and leading Carolina to Super Bowl 50. Cam took the Panthers to the playoffs 4 times and averaged over 4,000 yards of total offense per season through 2018. He's been elite from the moment he stepped onto the gridiron in 2017. Myles Garrett has tormented quarterbacks to the tune of 100+ sacks through his first 8 campaigns. 6-time Pro Bowler, 4-time All-Pro, and the 2023 Defensive Player of the Year.
So the Ravens have a minute 20 to work with now.
Jackson gets crushed by Myles Garrett.
Oh, you want 2 on the outside? I spin inside, and I grab your quarterback and put him on the deck.
What else could you ask from your number 1 pick? Garrett's on a Hall of Fame trajectory, and we'll see if he can secure a Lombardi trophy before it's all said and done. The prolific Matthew Stafford comes in at number 9. After injury slowed his launch into the NFL, the third-year quarterback broke out in 2011, over 5,000 passing yards, leading Detroit to their first playoff berth in 12 years. He obliterated Lions franchise records in every major passing category before a trade to the Rams in 2021. He, of course, won a title in his first season out west, 6 total playoff trips with Detroit and LA as of 2024, and you can't forget his late game heroics. 49 career game-winning drives since 2009, by far the most in the league. Okay, when you beat Tom Brady twice in the Super Bowl, you have our respect. Eli Manning went exactly 500 through a 16-year career, but when he got hot, it was a sight to behold.
Under pressure, avoids the rush, and he's gonna fight out of it. Still fights out of it, now throws it deep downfield. Wide open Tyree, who makes the catch. What a play by Manning. Manning out of the shotgun set, and he's back to throw. Climbs the pocket, deep ball down the left sideline, and it's gonna be caught. Was he inbounds? Yes!
That's a heck of a throw and a heck of a catch by Mario Manningham.
The 2-time Super Bowl MVP averaged close to 4,000 passing yards per season and currently sits 11th on the all-time list. He earned 4 trips to the Pro Bowl and led New York to 6 playoff appearances. Appears a gold jacket could be coming his way soon. Okay, now we're firmly in Hall of Fame territory, beginning with the great Leroy Selmon. The very first draft pick in Buccaneers history turned out to be pretty darn good.
Lions lead has been cut to 21-13. Daniel Centers caught back at the 1. When you want the big play, Leroy Selmon, number 63.
The dominant pass rusher played 9 NFL seasons, making the Pro Bowl in each of the final 6. Selmon was the 1979 Defensive Player of the Year in Tampa's magical run to the NFC Championship. He registered 23 sacks over his last 39 career games. On to the other side of the trenches with the great Orlando Pace. The left tackle won Super Bowl 34 with the Rams and blocked for 3 straight league MVPs from 1999 to 2001. Pace was first-team All-Pro 3 times and paved the way for the highest-scoring offense in the NFL from 1998 to 2004.
And Aikman will throw out of the end zone. Firing deep, he's got Harper. Alvin Harper to the Green Bay 30, 20, 10, touchdown, Aikman to Harper.
When you talk about winners, Troy Aikman should be part of the conversation. The top pick of 1989 turned the Cowboys around, winning 3 Super Bowl rings in the process. Aikman won 75% of his starts from 1992 to 1996. While his passing numbers don't jump off the screen, Aikman was efficient and delivered in big moments. He's gotta be top 5.
10-3 Los Angeles, and here goes Earl Campbell. He knocked Robertson on his back.
Watch out! Beautiful, beautiful.
Oh.
Power, and some more power. Earl Campbell was the best runner in the league as a rookie running back in 1978. He was named Offensive Player of the Year and followed that up with an MVP campaign in 1979. Campbell led the league in rushing in each of his first 3 seasons. His 55 touchdowns from 1978 to 1981 were tops in the NFL, but his bruising style took its toll. The Tyler Rose fell off after year 6, and Houston traded him away. Still, no doubting his impact on the league.
Palmer
former sack for the 4th time, and Bruce Smith is in on the sack. He is now the NFL's all-time sack leader.
The NFL sack king played at a high level for 19 seasons. Bruce Smith was as automatic as it gets since entering the league in 1985, 15 sacks by year 2, All-Pro by year 3, and Defensive Player of the Year by 1990. Smith registered double-digit sacks in 13 different seasons. He was a huge reason the Bills made a record 4 straight Super Bowls in the 1990s. Give it up for the 200-sack legend. One of the most highly touted prospects in draft history arrived in 1983 as Stanford's John Elway was set to go number 1. Only problem for the Colts was that Elway refused to sign. He was eventually dealt to Denver, and the rest, as they say, is history.
Is he only 37?
Elway completely altered the course of Broncos history and NFL history. The can't-miss talent was just that. 9-time Pro Bowler, 1987 MVP, and made 5 Super Bowl appearances. Elway was the face of the franchise for 16 seasons and capped off his career with back-to-back Lombardis. He even later led Denver to a pair of Super Bowls as the GM. How do you top that?
And Manning, he's got it! Manning's got the record! Peyton Manning has captured a piece of NFL history! Manning out of the gun. Manning lets it fly. It's caught by Thomas! There's the record for Peyton Manning! 51 touchdowns!
Number 1 was an easy choice, never mind he still ranks near the top 5 of every all-time passing record. Peyton Manning is the only player in NFL history to win 5 MVP awards. He led the Colts to 8 division titles. Manning broke Dan Marino's 20-year-old record for passing touchdowns in 2004, and by 2006, the Colts had their first Super Bowl victory since moving to Indy. In Denver, he led the Broncos to a pair of AFC championships and set single-season records for passing yards and touchdowns in 2013. His final game put a bow on a brilliant career.